the show is called A Question of Meaning, and we often pick on politics because, what did the carpenter say? By their deeds you will know them. Well, politics and economics, these are the system, the social system is, we think, a direct reflection of the, existing state of consciousness at this particular level of evolution.
Right.
In the United States. So we're going to look at economics today because we think it's really telling. The way it's been forever is that there's a handful who've got it all. They're kings, they're emperors, they're pharaohs, far back as you can look. And there are legions of those who have not. And this country was founded on this noble idea that everyone should be able to pursue life, liberty, unless you were black or a woman or never mind. And the pursuit of happiness. And since we all know money buys happiness,
that's right.
I certainly do.
Well, that's the American dream, which was actually, that phrase was coined in, I think it's the 1930s. The American dream is that this was a country as a meritocracy. And at least this is what it always meant to me. And that everyone was equal in opportunity here. That I'm just talking about the fantasy. The illusion.
Pitch. The sales pitch.
That we all had equal opportunity. That anyone could, what were we all raised on the, now I can't think of the name of it, but it was a parable in the late 1800s. There's lots and lots of books.
Rags to Riches?
Yeah, it was this character name. This character
40 acres and a mule?
Well, that everybody could go from rags to riches. Yeah, that was the thing. I'll think of it over the course of this show.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So,
and some did.
That's right. And
over 100, 200 years, many did.
That's right. And so, we use those few to say, well, it could happen to anyone. It could happen to everyone. Anyone could be president, we say. We tell our children. And so this is the myth of America, is that there's an equality here. And what's really true is not only is the United States, you can look at charts, the most unequal in income distribution of any of the wealthy industrialized nations, that inequality has been increasing for the last 30 years.
What happened 30 years ago?
Let's see, I can't.
Oh, I know. It was the Reagan. Right. It was Morning in America. M-O-U-R-N. No, I think it's morning like in America.
That's right. And then
trickle down.
Third, the myth that of social being, people moving across classes is actually a myth. That through the whole course of the history of the United States,
you can say that here in the post-racial era,
that there really is almost no mobility between classes. Arthur came up with this idea, which I really like.
Green peppers and the
you have to
it's a kind of a Technicolor pizza pie.
Well, I wanted to make it really clear to be holding it.
Yeah, that looks good.
So, right, because one of the problems with talking about economics is people, the majority of people have a problem with numbers to begin with, and then when people write about numbers, they often play really fast and loose with statistics, which bothers me no end. They'll say things like 50% of all people, have trouble paying their mortgage. Well, and that's not really good because, it's like, is it every year? Is it averaged over 10 years? Anyway. So one of the, and this is another area, you try and find, this is a graph representing the income distribution in this country, and you try and get numbers, really hard numbers on this. It can be difficult, but these are fairly accurate. I believe there's
right in the ballpark accurate, not wildly off.
There's a
like
professor
10% or something like that.
There's a professor at the University of California at Berkeley.
Wouldn't you know it?
Named Emmanuel Saez, that has done a lot.
You'll know. If he knows John Yoo. John Yoo teaches at Berkeley, and he suffered to live. He's still not been.
But anyway, this Professor Saez, you'll see him referred to a lot. When you're trying to find statistics, you'll find him being referred to for graphs. But then I've looked at the census figures, the government census figures, and they're similar to this. So I think we're close, if this isn't exactly right.
Say 5%.
So
one way or the other.
What we're going to imagine here is that this is a pizza. okay? And we're going to say let's imagine a country of 100 people.
Let's imagine this country, which is what this is about.
This is the U.S. in the 2007. You have to accept, you can't always have the absolute up-to-date figures. So there's 100 people in the United States, and they're going to share this pizza. So how are they sharing? This is their income. Okay, we're going to get to wealth later. But this is the income.
1 year.
This is 1 year of income.
Every dime that you, us, everybody in this country makes. Total accumulated income of the United States for 1 year.
Okay, so
this
we've
is
got
how it's split up.
So the 100 people line up to have their share of the pizza pie, right? Okay, so
it's delivered once a year. Maybe it's delivered on the 31st, a New Year's Eve party, and it's 100 people. And here's the pizza.
That's
man.
right. Here's
now we're
your
divvy
share.
it up.
Right.
Here's your share.
Okay, so
for a year, next year.
Okay, the first person in line,
One person.
a quarter. There you go, Arthur.
Very gentle. Oh, thank you. Now look, I'm trying to lose weight.
Okay. So, all right, now think how the 99 people in the rest of the line. Imagine being the 99 people. Wow. Okay, that hog in the front of the line just took a quarter of the pizza. Okay?
A quarter. For me, one person. 99 people left to feed. What if we had a buffet and that was the only thing on it? First guy cuts himself a quarter. One person.
Okay, then the next 9 people take another quarter. But what's interesting, that seems like a whole lot, that the top 10% take half the pie, is what we're saying here. But look at what happens between the number 1 and one of these guys. Look at the difference already.
You're talking here, you're talking, medium-sized business owners, doctors, lawyers, pharmacists.
Here, in this one. These are the CEOs,
Don't even
hedge
pluralize
fund
it.
managers.
Yeah, right. This is the one. Wall Street,
That one guy.
bankers.
Right. Okay, so I'm not going to pull all these guys off because I think you can get the message. We got 90 people left in line.
And here's what the other 90 get.
Half. 90 people. So
Did you
10 people.
Did you ever try to divide a pizza for a half pizza, a half a pie? Did you ever try to cut it 90 slices?
Arthur asked me to cut.
I mean, hold up
a
one
wedge.
of those little slices. This is one of the.
This is a privileged. Okay.
That's their piece.
So this is 9. This would be about. Yeah, I don't even want to go there, but I mean, I was trying to. I decided trying to cut a sliver off this would be too hard. Okay.
It's like a smiley face or a watermelon.
Watermelon. So I like this because it makes it graphic. Okay, there's one person.
That's me. Oink. Oink. That's the 1% of this population gets a quarter of the yearly income. 25%. 1%. What is that? Say we have 300 million people. Do the math. I can't. I was awful with numbers. If the population rounded off to 300 million people, well, you can't really do that. It's the
3 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
3 million people. But you know what? That's less than the population of Dallas, the greater Dallas area.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Get my quarter back.
So, all right. So that's,
3 million people in this country of over 300 million take a quarter of the income in a year.
So that seems pretty outrageous, right?
I mean, this is a democracy. Everybody. What happened to rags to riches? Sounds
Right.
like somebody's rich and a hell of a lot of people aren't.
It doesn't seem very equal. I'll say that much. Okay, but when you get to wealth, that makes this look fair.
Buckle your seatbelts.
Okay, this is the wealth chart. And we did the same thing. So we, and I didn't write the actual numbers on here, so I've got it down here. Okay, so we got our pie. We got 100 people. And this is the wealth. What do you own? So you put all your assets together and subtract all your the things you owe,
Everything.
your debts.
You know, your
So what
Mad
is your
magazine
wealth?
collection, your
That's right. Your tennis shoes.
your tennis shoes, you know, with depreciation, talking in ways that most of us can understand.
Okay, so here we go. Once again, all the 100 people line up.
All the wealth.
Let's share the wealth, right? Okay, so here's the first person. Okay. Now, you know what? That looks bigger to me.
It does look bigger, doesn't it?
Here's
Oh,
your
yeah.
income.
Yearly income, yeah. So that
So here's your income, but your share of the wealth is even
you can't
bigger.
really see
I
it.
know.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
even bigger.
It is bigger.
It's bigger. We'll
How
just say
big
that
is it?
much. Okay? So you got a quarter of the income, but you have 34% of the wealth.
Over a third. Top 1%. I come up to the pizza and slice myself a little over a third of the pie this time. Not a quarter. Over a third. So good.
Okay, so how about the next 9 people? Remember
how about 'em?
the
Who
next 9
cares?
people who got, the same, they got that same percentage, about a quarter of the income, right? Okay. Now, those next 9 people, their percentage is even bigger than the 1%. They've got about 38%.
Wow.
Okay, but you put these two together, you've got 3/4 of the wealth goes to the top 10%.
10 people.
Or belongs to the top 10 people.
How much?
75%.
75%.
Well, 72%.
72% of the pie goes to 10 people.
Okay.
But how many do we have left to feed now?
90?
90%? Have to divide. How much of the pie is left? Oh, wait, you got another little sliver there. What's that?
28. We have 28% of the pie left for 90 people.
Gee, somebody's going to go hungry.
Okay. Now, if you take, and see, we could have done this with the income statistics too, because, it would be kind of like this. You get down to the bottom and, the income is like this. Okay. So now we'll feed 40 people, which will bring us to half the population.
Half the American population.
This is half the American
Let's
population.
say 50 people at our pizza party.
Owns 97.5% of the wealth.
Half.
Here's
Half the people.
here's the
Who cares?
here's the lowest.
Jesus said you will always have the
50%.
poor with you.
That's right. Okay.
Wait a minute now. I'm gotten muddled here. What have we got? How much of the pizza has been used up?
Okay. That's 10%. This is 50%.
50% of the pizza goes to
Not no,
No,
98%
98% of all wealth
is in half. The
is in
first-
half the
Yeah,
population.
2.5% is the lower half. That means half the population basically owns nothing.